All right, what's going on? Happy Wednesday night. We're back for another episode of this month's The Closing Table. My good friend Dan from Next Home Brandywine. He's sporting that orange of Next Home. He's showing it off. There you go. But it's actually the Orioles. But it doesn't matter because we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We're going to talk a bunch of real estate because there's a bunch of things going on, and we're going to meet another one of the agents out of his office. Lisa last, which I'm really interested to me because he just told me she's from England. So we're gonna have a fun time, and maybe we could compare real estate in England to here. That would probably be interesting.
See, that's why you're the host. And I didn't step on the intro. I think it's the first week I did not step on your intro.
I saw like you were chomping at the bit. You were waiting to say something.
I want to keep my mouth shut so I don't mess up the intro. And we're exhausted tonight. We've been running like crazy. So a lot going on. We're going to bring Lisa on in a couple minutes here, but a lot going on. I'll say this. The affordable housing segment, anything up to what they would consider affordable housing segment, anything up to 350 is still flying off. And Lisa will tell you she's got several in that market segment. So very busy, people looking for a roof, but they need an affordable price. So that's where the battle lies now. Anything 400,000, 450 and above, sitting for a little bit. Everything is still selling, but stuff is not selling as quick. Average days on market are increasing. Someone just texted me, of course. And so we're seeing a market shift. Lisa said she's been here 29 years. She just texted me. So
Oh wow!
She said, Bay, I don't know that much about real estate in England, but she does. So we'll bring that up during our conversation. But it's a changing market. Some things I'm seeing, right? We're big sports people. Some people Philly's just got Noah Syndergaard. He's not the same pitcher he was when he was with the Mets, but he's living off the name on the back of the jersey. What I'm telling people is this. Some people aren't hustling for you. Some people aren't doing their due diligence for you. And Lisa will tell you this when she comes aboard. We busted for everybody 24/7. And that's we compete. Somebody said to me, one of my clients, you compete on service level. We compete on service level. We're working hard to show you that we deserve to be the next superstar office out there. You know, I see some of these listings. I see some pictures of poor quality. Somebody just put one up, no description. You have the right to present the listings properly for your sellers. They're hiring you over 39,000 other people. I cringe. I go, and I say to myself, like, just internally, like, who listed this? Like, they're not representing their seller properly, you know, and it's just sloppy and makes us look bad as a whole.
I'll tell you what. I don't know if you know this. I worked in the car business for 13 years, and what I did was the photography. Well, that's how I got my foot in the door. I did the photography for the car dealerships for their websites, and you know, like Auto Trader and stuff like that. And I don't think people realize, you know, flipping this to the real estate side, and the same with the car business, how truly important, like you're saying, the photography is. Because the pictures, and this holds true for real estate as well. One of my GMs used to tell me, "You are actually the most important person in this dealership because if it wasn't for you, you keep our dealership open 24 hours a day." And it's the same with real estate.
And the thing is, like, I equate it to fishing. We want to get somebody on the hook and bring them in to see the property, right? So we need to present it so they see it and they see it online. They come, oh, I want to go look at that property. That's our job. Our job is to draw people to the properties. We can't make them love it, but we need to draw them in and make sure that we're getting traction on the properties for our clients. And one lady, I called her up. I said, I was going to drive the Northeast at 70 miles. I said, listen, ma'am, I see she had a little welcome home thing on there. No pictures, just a little hanging welcome home sign. I said, why are there no pictures? Well, the house is in bad shape. Why are there no pictures? Like, just represent it what it is. I always represent what it is. This is what it is. And I explain, is it average condition, below average, above average? What? You didn't put any pictures? Not even a picture. My guy wants a backyard. So at least give me exterior pictures so I understand whether it has the proper yard or it's going to be. You know what I do?
Yeah.
I come across that listing and it is sitting there. I just don't feel on a whole that the representation of the client is being, unless the client's saying don't put pictures. But if I'm the agent, I'm saying we have to put some kind of pictures to represent the property properly so we can draw people in to see it. This is all basic stuff, babe, because we got busy and everybody's living fat on a hog, right?
Mhm.
You know, they're all eating. We need to do business the right way consistently.
Yeah.
And that's the key. You're going to get consistency with Next Home. I'm 17 years in, Century 21 original trained, old school values, new school tech with Next Home. Lisa will tell you nobody out hustles us. Nobody. Evelyn, me, Lisa, and nobody. We're there for our clients. Do we do the most deals? No. Again, nobody's going to out hustle us. We understand the business. I understand the details of the business. I'm there to support the agents every step of the way. But you know, Lisa's been driving around like crazy showing people properties, you know, and it's limited inventory. So we're driving 40 miles, 50 miles to show somebody 1 or 2 houses. So I really feel like it's like when the Phillies got Jim Thome, it's time for us to hit the next level. You know, I had a client's husband say, you should have used this guy. He's the #1 guy in the area. I've spent hours with this one client. I say to myself, that guy's was never going to spend the amount of time and do the stuff that I've done for, there you go, there's the cat, that I've done for that particular client. We are different. We need to be able to tell people, please let us prove it to you. Let us show you why we're different and what we can do to help you buy and sell right now. Because right now it's a hustle gig because the limited inventory in the affordable housing market, and you got to be on it and try to position your offer for your client to try to get them a leg up. And there's a couple things you can do there to, you know, kind of be creative in the way you write the offers to position yourself and your client, because it's a business for us too. We want our clients to get the houses because we don't get paid. People think it's not a business for us, like it's just fun. Yes, it can be fun, but we do have to, you know, get people in houses in order to get paid. And we got a job to do as well in representing our people. I know she's pulling buttons over there, so let's bring her on.
And here she is.
Hello.
How are you? Nice to meet you, Lisa.
Good. Oh, I'm a little close. There we go.
You look good. You got the big old glasses going tonight. She was nervous. I said, I'm
very nervous.
You shouldn't be nervous. There's 2 clowns here on the closing table 5
and a cat.
Yes, base cat likes to sit on him. But yeah, we're glad to have you on. We wanted to do this and start doing like an agent series and introducing the agents in the office. So Lisa was essentially, I think, one of the first people we brought in when we opened up 4 years ago.
Wow.
I can't believe it's that long.
Me neither.
But Lisa was friends with Ann Maroney, who's with us, and she said, look, you know, Lisa's husband was doing it, but then he had a little conflict with his profession and kind of stepped out. And then Lisa said, you know, I'm getting my license. And she said, I have a friend of mine, Ann Maroney, who's, you know, interested, is with another organization interested in coming over. That was the first of us. Bill Hansel, me, Lisa, Ann. That was the first handful of people. We've juggled a few people in and out, but that's the first group that we started with. You know, and Lisa's grown immensely. Did over $3 million in sales last year.
Wow.
It's a lot of business, you know, for a relatively newer agent, been in the business 4 years. She's got a huge sphere of influence, knows a ton of people across a lot of different sectors like myself, which it always helps. She's got 3 kids spread out a little bit. So she, you know, in the school circles and stuff like that in the Coatesville area. She's heavily into the band. So she's got a lot of connections there. So, I kind of just want to give people, like we always talk about the humans over houses, give people a feel for the agents in our office. I'll say this, and we'll bring Lisa in here to have the discussion. A lady went on our website last year, and remember Lisa, the one in Downingtown, the condo, and she was just looking up agents to see who might be a match for her. Yep. And was there some kind of English connection there? What was the connection?
No, there really wasn't much of a connection. It was just like, she says, oh, I saw you from England. I thought it'd be different, so I'm going to go with you. It was great. It worked out perfectly. We got where she wanted to be. We got to the table, and she was super happy. And that's all that matters, that she's
the English
happy.
accent helps. Maybe I should try that. I think it helps. Not with my Delco accent. It really we're a small office, and and you can go on, look at our website, nexthomebrandywine.com. You can find an agent that might be a match for you. Not everybody's a match for everybody, and she looked Lisa up, and it worked out well. And Lisa was able, in a smaller environment, it's a little bit more intimate with us and our clients than us being on a website with 40, 60, 100, 300 different people.
Right.
There you go. Lisa's got some more light. She's in. I know she's in her little nook there outside of her kitchen. She just had her whole house redone.
I did.
New
it's
floors.
Not advisable to flood it.
she flooded her house. The sink got flooded.
Yes, I did.
So she just painted her whole house and sold real estate and has a cleaning business.
I
did.
She
juggles
and 3 kids.
Yes, and 3 kids.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
So
worth every minute.
I know Deck started doing a little bit of real estate,
Yes.
and then you decided, and I guess you were going to do it anyway, get your license. We had this conversation briefly when we were walking the dogs, and we'll see what the comment is this time versus that. But as far as why'd you get in it, and I know the answer just popped in my head. I'm getting old.
I don't know the answer.
Yeah, I know. I remember what she said, which again ties back in.
I've got to remember what I said now. You know that.
Do you remember what you said?
No,
I'll tell you.
For me, it was, I have 3 children. I'm very active with my kids in school. I wanted the flexibility. The flexibility was very important. And I love working with people. My favorite clients are literally the first-time home buyers. I get such a rush out of when we get to the table and we've got them their new home. It is such an amazing feeling. It's so great. I love it.
And she said to me, I like helping people. And I think it's really is a common theme for our office. I mean, it is a business and we talk about that side of it, but we really do. And you can see through the work ethic. I mean, honestly, how much we do. I've had other people say to me on transactions, I don't really care about that one. That's a lower train. I don't really care about that one. We bend over backwards from 30,000 up to 800,000. I mean, we'll do anything.
Absolutely. I drove nearly 200 miles today, and it's not a high-end house. It's not at all. It doesn't matter if that house is $100,000 or $1 million. You are going to get treated the same way.
How many tanks of gas you burn over the last 3 weeks?
Oh, don't even, because I drive the wrong car too.
She has a Jeep. She said, I have
a Wrangler, my little gas guzzler.
She said, I think I put 4 or 5 tanks of gas in over the last week.
1 week, it was crazy.
So there's not a lot of inventory. So we're doing everything and anything we can to position our people to be successful.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know.
There's not, I mean, even today, one popped up I was out in Lancaster and one popped up whilst I was out there. So we literally went from one house to the other. Otherwise, we'd have come home because there's nothing else. We're doing one trip for a couple of hours driving to see one house because there's nothing else.
And you're talking really not a lot under 250.
No,
I mean, you're talking $250,000, and we're talking there's not a lot of inventory. We were on last night looking in the Pottstown area, going back and forth on some listings. She has a single lady client, and you got to have the right spot for people. Yeah, and absolutely. Lisa was like, we don't have much inventory. Like, I'm due to take her out all day, but I don't really have much to show her.
Wow.
I know, I like a lot of the houses, the agents are not putting in the work to sell them because they're selling so fast that they're not going that extra step. I went into one today and it was literally, they'd been and staged it, but they hadn't cleaned it. It was filthy dirty, but it was staged, got beautiful furniture. I'm like, well, you'd have been better off spending the money on a cleaner than you did on the stager.
We just talked about that before we brought you in about they're not even, one guy put one up, he didn't even put a description on it. No description. You can't put nice house, like nothing in the description. We were talking the picture quality, even on our more reasonably priced houses, we try to have the uniformity and professional photography on all of our
always
shoots.
Professional photography, and we pay for that. That's us doing it for our clients. We don't add it on to their bill at the end, nothing like that. We pay for that professional photographer every time. Doesn't matter the price of the house.
That's why we brought you on, because some people do. I've had some people say, "Oh, well, in the past, I was charged for my pictures. They passed the cost on them."
Absolutely not. That's my choice to do that. That's Dan's choice to do that. We don't have to do that. That is something we choose to do, but it's important to us that we give 100% to our clients. It's very simple.
It is true, and that's the difference. I mean, and it's, you speak about it being simple. It's the truth, but that's not the standard a lot of times.
No,
We try to provide that standard of excellence, right?
Yeah.
So we always push to be better, because then we increase our business, and hopefully it increases the satisfaction of our clients.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, right now you've got to be on the ball, you've got to be fast, but you've also got to remember that your clients are just people, and buying a house is stressful enough without you adding more stress to it. So you take that stress from them and you do everything you can to make it as easy as possible for them. That is our job, and that is what I always try and do. It's very,
You're hitting a home run tonight. You thought you were.
Yay!
What do you got, Bay?
I want to know, Lisa, what made you go to Next Home Brandywine? It sounds like this was you getting into the real estate world, and as a new agent, what made you want to go with a brand new office where there's all these other big name brands that you could have jumped on board with, I'm sure. So what made you choose the little guy?
I didn't know anything. It was very simple. I didn't know anything. Dan lives in the same development, and we always pass. I knew him beforehand, and Dan, he can talk to you a lot. So but it was just enticing. Everything. For an agent, what you pay out is important, because same with everybody. You're in the job to earn money. I mean, as much as I love it, and my clients will always come first, we do it, to get paid. That's a job, as much as we do it the correct way. But at the same time, with Next Home, there wasn't the monthly fees. I didn't want to be paying out if I wasn't doing anything that month.
Right.
I don't want an extra bill if I've decided, I don't want to work this month. My kids are off school. We're going away. I don't want to pay for my job, So that was important to me. It was really important. So that's straight away. And then I'm not tech savvy. I'm really not. I love, I'm a people person. I'm a doer. Get me out there. Get me doing my job. I don't want to be sitting at a computer for hours and entering all my stuff on the computer. It's not like that with Next Home Brandywine, where you enter Next Home Brandywine. You enter it on the computer, and it does it for you. The information, it's all spread across the board. It's on a different.
So we have one sign-on. I'll just interject real quick. We have one sign-on. When I was at other companies, we had multiple logins. So with Next Home, you have one back office in the intranet. Everything ties into that. So you don't have to remember one password. And then you can tie in your social media, all of your utilities that you use for the real estate business. Everything ties into our back office. So you just log on, like Lisa's saying, for an agent and for an on-the-go agent. It makes a world of difference. Little tiny things.
I don't want to be sat here for hours on end. I want to be out there with my clients, not sat at my computer.
Right.
So that was a big deal for me. And the online training with Next Home was fabulous. And just their motto of saying humans over houses, that is so important to me. That is incredibly important, because people come first regardless.
That's the theme of the show, Bay. You hear it from everybody we deal with. I'll say this real quick. I loved Weichert. We worked with Weichert, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my team, my office, my people. And then Jim Weichert came down one day and said, "I'm not paying for brick and mortar anymore. The agents have to pay $199 a month because I'm not covering the cost to carry the office." And I thought, I'm not doing that. I mean, I don't see where's the return on investment for me, Dan Pizzi Real Estate. I give you a piece of my commissions. That's how our business works. It's a commission splits between the brokerage and the agents. There's varying levels of that. But for us, it's like, okay, I love it here. I love my people. I like the brand, but I'm not paying $2,400 a year for nothing, and it's the same thing with errors and omissions. These are things the agents, this is a piece of the puzzle that the agents want to discuss. My money, how much of it am I keeping, and what is the office and the brand doing for my business unit? And that's big for these agents. I mean, because it's their business unit. Lisa's an independent contractor. Mm-hmm. She's co-branded with Next Home Brandywine. I own the office. I'm not her boss. She has a level of professionalism details that she has to follow as far as Association of Realtors and Next Home corporate policies, but it's her business unit. I mean, and she's got to look at what's best for her, products, services, fees, and for her clients. What is a good fit? I just think people sometimes, I did a lot of digging, like we talked about before we bought the Next Home franchise, and you never know, because we're always from Delco were always skeptical of everything, right? So everything. I think you bullshit me until I know for sure, and I'll tell you, everything they said is genuine. It's a genuine family there. I could pick up the phone right now and call from the president on down to my liaison, Amanda, and they will come on and say, hey, Dan, and we grew a level of respect with our office because we're all professional, so we don't get those calls from corporate saying somebody was out of line or something like that. But it's also the corporate structure, like Lisa said. We have a website too. You can go on humansoverhouses.com. It basically tells the stories of families, and how Next Home and our clients work together to put people into houses. Like I did this year. I put my Afghani people. It's the first home they bought in America. I put two different family members from Liberia in houses this year. First homes they have bought in America. So like Lisa said, it's a business, but we do care about our clients.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Dan, the one thing that you said surprised me is even though it's your office, you said you're technically not her boss. In other offices, does it work that same way?
Yeah, and it's a fine line. I think that people don't understand the way this is set up. So I liken it to a paralegal with an attorney.
Okay.
Because my wife's a paralegal. So my wife can do a lot of the drafting, but the attorney has to sign off on it. So in Pennsylvania, and other states are very similar, but some differences. Some people use attorneys for settlement. Some people use title agencies. In PA, we use title agencies. But every transaction is the broker's transaction. So we're like a paralegal for the broker.
Gotcha.
So there's the brokerage umbrella. A lot of people are broker owners. I am not. I have a broker that I hired. I'm just the owner of the office. The financial side of it is mine. I own it. I own the franchise. Tom Price is our broker of record. So technically, even myself, Lisa, all of our listings go under Tom. You have Tom as the broker, and then we go under Tom. So Lisa's an independent contractor. She has an independent contractor agreement with us that's saying she's a licensed real estate agent in Pennsylvania, and she's hanging her license over the Next Home under the Next Home Brandywine umbrella. And then she has to follow a code of ethics and a certain standard for the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors, right? The National Association of Realtors. And then some of the rules and regulations that Next Home has, as far as conduct and, how we present ourselves and what we do. But she's technically, it's her business unit. So I'm Dan Pizzi, Next Home Brandywine. It's my business unit. I have a good friend, Pat Ryan, and I've switched companies 4 times in dealing with Pat in different transactions over years. And I'll say, Pat, I moved to here. I went from Long and Foster to Weichert. And he would say, I don't care. I deal with Dan Pizzi real estate. So like Jim Weichert said, people buy people before they buy products and services.
Yeah.
So they're buying Lisa. They love Lisa, right? As soon as she talks, people love her because of the accent, right?
And then she's up.
So they could not know who she's with. She's built enough of a following now and has enough transactions and built a professional relationship with people to where it's Lisa Last Real Estate. Even though she's with Next Home Brandywine, she decides to be with Next Home because certain criteria that makes sense for her business. I tell people, I told a younger guy he was with a big brand, and they focus on teams. Dustin, if you remember. I said, listen, Lisa knows him. I said, listen, that is not a fit for you. You're an independent. You're not on a team. They focus on a team. I don't think that brand is a fit for you. Not that I'm begging you to come to my brand, but So I saw him. I was at Plaza Azteca and I was eating lunch one day, and he came in and he said, he went to a local. He went to Vanguard, who I personally like. Lisa knows people there. Good, small, non-franchise, but a good, small, local, independent office. He said, you were right. He said, you were right. I said, I wasn't trying to tell you to be a wise guy or tell you to come the Next Home. I was trying to tell you because that brand might not be a fit for you. I liked Weichert. Some people didn't. I like the uniformity, the structure, the old school values of Weichert. But it has to be a fit for you. And our group kind of is a fit because we have the same mindset. Lisa brought another young lady to us, and we had a conversation at Lisa's house the other night. She's thinking about coming aboard, and Lisa can talk about this. So we talked about our mindset as an office. Like, this is how our office functions, right? So we've been around long enough now that we have a little bit of a corporate culture. And then we just said, look, if you fit into that culture, we're not going to bring agents on just to bring agents on and cash a check on them. I'm not going to do it. So it's a very small, close Bay, I don't want an outlier that's going to mess up what we have and what we built.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa, me, Ann, Bill. I mean, we built a great. Joanne Murray's with me. I was with her for years at Century 21. Evelyn joined us, came from Long and Foster. But we have a group that has everybody's very diverse in their personality and all. But we have a group that kind of, from a business perspective and a thought process, is kind of very cohesive.
Yeah, it works because even though we're independent and we're not on a team, we've always got each other's backs. If there's a time I can't show a house, like if my kids are keeping me busy, then I know I can call somebody else from our office and say, hey, would you show a house for me? And vice versa.
Okay.
So even though, and we don't, it's just, we're there for each other. We're a family. We're not a team, we're a family.
I like that. Yeah.
It really works for us. So we can be there for our clients as much as possible.
And I think when someone else goes real quick, Bay, if I go for Lisa, it's the same mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Different personality, different person, but
absolutely.
Our thought
the
process.
number one goal is to get our clients in their home.
Right.
So
everybody.
Yeah.
I'll even show for Mark. Mark owns Next Home Signature. Mark was down the shore this past summer. He said, Dan, can you do me a favor and take my client to see a couple houses? Absolutely. You're part of the Next Home family. I'll do you a favor. I'll go over there and show your clients' houses. And we have the same mindset. I mean, if I show for Lisa, it's not going to be like it's a drastically different approach. We all take a similar approach.
I'm literally showing the house. At the end of the day, Dan is your agent. I will communicate with Dan afterwards to say, hey, this is what I thought. This is what your clients thought. Now they're back to you. It's not like we're doing all the work or anything like that. You're not dealing with 50 people. Dan's their client. It's very straightforward. Yeah. But I've even shown houses I had a listing on my street and an agent called from another office saying, hey, I can't get there. Could you show my client the house? I've done it for them. I don't mind. Wow. The point is, it's about the people. It's always about the people. Everything we do is about the people.
Well, I mean, even like, and Dan, this is more towards you. I would think to myself, like, wouldn't you want to have all these agents under you out of your office? But then I also, like, I'm hearing you guys talk, I'm thinking to myself, probably 75% of the people that might approach you, deep down, they're not going to be a good fit for your family that you have put together and the Next Home brand.
Yeah, and it's a fine line, right? So you need so much volume, and the more agents you bring in theory, you're getting more volume. But for us, I just said the other day, we don't need more agents. We just need more volume, like everybody. We're looking for more business. We're looking to grow the brand, but we have enough professionals in place that we can cover. I try not to cover too many at one time. If I'm doing 3 or 4, that's all I'm going to take, because I want to make sure they have the personal relationship with each and every person in each and every transaction. But yeah, it's a fine line. I mean, and we're still growing. So we're year 4. My mom's family ran businesses for years. My mom says, if you can make it to the 5th year, you're established. They know
you've had COVID, you've had flood, and we're still going strong.
Listen, I'm always, I'm always pushing, old school Italian hard head. But Lisa's like, look what you've been through. We had a broker that needed to be replaced because he didn't fit the culture, right? So we didn't open to go down a path that we don't want to go down with a broker that didn't fit the culture, who said he was going to fit the culture, but he didn't. We said, sorry, you don't fit what we're looking to do. You got to go. So we replaced the broker. Then we had COVID for going on almost 2 years where we were closed down and everything. And then we bounced out of COVID. We were gangbusters. We were doing so well, almost 14 million last year. And last September, it's coming up on a year, we had 4 foot of water in the office, and the office was basically floating down the street, along with my expensive copier and everything else we had in the office. And then we had to pull off a move. We couldn't, this is the family, right? We couldn't get movers because everybody was backed up. And I found a place in a historic mansion in the Barclay Plaza in Westchester. Lisa and Declan on a Sunday morning are helping me move in to the building because we couldn't get movers. I made some trips myself. Lisa's like, poor Declan, her husband's like, oh, Deck will help you. Like, we have these heavy filing cabinets, and we have a desk, and we got this little tiny old school elevator, and we're down there on a Sunday morning moving, like just trying to get in. So because we were so busy, babe, we didn't want to lose a step. And you need this place to store your files and all. So we've been through quite a bit as an office. No, and we're making money. I mean, I just looked at the numbers again. again, it's a challenge. Economy, things are shifting. The higher end market's not selling. I'm looking at the number. We're holding our own again.
We
Are we
all have
down
work.
from last
We
year?
all have work. Yep.
I just said
We
right
all
now,
we're good.
I have 3, you have 2, and Ann has 2 ready to close. We got 7 deals lined up to close, and we all have other deals in the funnel ready to move. So for a small office, I think, Bay, it's because, and we need to get the word. That's why we do this podcast, and we need to get the word out there that we're as good or better. I'm just going to say it, try to watch what I say, but we're as good or better than anybody out there. We just are. I say it overnight. I was trained by Dave Stinson, who nobody in this business knows more than Dave. Nobody. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think of his personality. We learned old school. Declan said the elevator was ancient. It was very narrow. Off the record, we'll tell Bay how we were all jammed in that elevator trying to get up to the 3rd floor.
You might want to tell him that off screen.
But
a little close.
Yes, we're a little close in that elevator. But yeah, it's the business is a challenge, and like Lisa goes back to over and over again that we're going to be there for our clients. It sounds like cliche, but people aren't. I told you, I had a guy say to me on a house in Coatesville, he said, quote, "I don't really care about that one." Well, I mean, it's really against your ethical standard. You could say it here maybe, but you don't really want to articulate it to an opposing agent that this is a quote, like not a really like, it's a lower end. I don't know how you want to word it. Like, I don't really care.
Not worth our time.
Yeah. Like me, I'm down to Chester for $49,900 with bells on, proud to go down there and represent somebody for a $50,000 house. Like I'm driving 70 miles to the Northeast. The guy's trying to get out, and I'm making sure the numbers are right to make sure this guy can get out, and we're adjusting things to make sure that he's in the best position to buy. So it's the attention to detail and the flat out care for the clients that's the beginning, and then it's the products, the services, the knowledge. And again, I don't know everything, but we have other people that we can pick up the phone and call.
Yeah.
Lisa and the team calls me. If I don't know something, I pick up the phone and I call Mark. I call John Leonard, who I've known for years. So we're going to make sure that you're represented properly. When I look at stuff, I feel like, wow, there's 30. I'm so happy when someone hires me because they hired me over 39,000 other people. We want you to want to work with us, and then we want to show you what we can do with our performance to make you refer us. Because I'll say this, and Lisa will back it up. We don't buy any business. We don't buy any Zillow leads. I have spent donut on buying business this year, and we're probably at 7-8 million.
Referrals. Yep. I've never done anything other than referrals or friends ever, and I can honestly say I'm doing really well with it, and I'm happy.
Absolutely.
And the reward is getting that referral. If a friend has said, "Hey, go to Lisa, she's going to work for you," and those clients at the end are happy, that's my reward. I absolutely love it.
That says it all. I mean, that's what you want. So you want those referrals because you took care of somebody, or somebody, and they know what you did for them, and they know your work ethic. So those people are trusting in you than going to a stranger.
That's it.
Yeah, and if you look at, we don't alter one of our reviews. Never.
No.
You look at nexthomebrandywine.com and look at client testimonial tab. And you'll see a pattern with every agent of how we do business. They say Dan picks up the phone every time. Dan answers all of our questions. Dan was there anytime we needed him 24/7. Lisa, the compassion, the level of hustle, the ability to get transactions done and negotiate deals. It's the same pattern that as a group, we have a long track record of success and really putting our people first and really caring about our clients. If you look at it, I feel like some of the players, you lose your luster. Andrew McCutcheon comes up for the name on the back of the jersey. Not that good anymore. But hey, it's Andrew McCutcheon. He was great. Not really. He went to the Brewers this year. He's playing a little better. But it's like we want to be that next. I'm a big O's fan. All these young players, Mateo, all these young players. We want to be that next hungry up and coming team like the Orioles are right now. And we want to prove to you and earn your business. And that's why I want to bring on the agents and introduce them. So Lisa, what would you say to someone looking for a house? Why that they should hire Lisa last? Why should you represent them? You can check Lisa out at nexthome.com. We have a great new agent finder. All of her bio and her some question and answers we've done. All that stuff is on there. NextHomeBrandywine.com as well. Like she's done a lot of business. I'll share this. She's done more business than I did when I started. I mean, literally 3 million last year and probably 3 million this year, 6 million in 2 years. And she has a cleaning business and she has other things that she does with her family. So, I mean, it's a tremendous amount of business. I knew when we brought her on, I had some bugs in my ear and some people said, oh, this, that. I said, look, she knows a lot of people. She has a British accent. And she cares about everybody. It does help. Anytime you have a British accent, it helps.
Until you're on the phone and they don't understand you, but it does help.
When she uses a couple words that they don't understand here in the U.S. What'd you say to Julie the other day? What was the line you said to Julie the other day?
Can I say that online?
I'm not even sure. What the hell was it?
We were talking about diarrhea.
Oh, I'm not sure. It was some kind of British line, but Julie didn't quite understand what that was. I'll say this, and then we'll let Lisa tell a little bit of herself and close us out, and babe, we'll go on. Danny was little, and it was Halloween, and this is before me and Lisa had a real, we knew each other, just acquaintances. And Danny was a British character from a British cartoon called Noddy, and Lisa was the only one that knew who he was. So we went to Lisa's house and Lisa was like, oh, it's Noddy. And I was like, there you go, Danny. How old was he? Maybe 5, 4. And it was like, no one else knew who he was, but Lisa was our resident Brit. So she knew who Noddy was when Danny came around.
My all-time favorite show is, let's see if you know this one, Faulty Towers.
Oh gosh. Yes. I know that one.
You know what I like? I like Inspector Morse. You ever watch Inspector Morse?
You really?
You don't like that? Yeah. I love that dude. He reminded me of like Columbo. It was like he solved, like it was one of those cop shows where he solved like a mystery. It was called Inspector Morse. Yes. Look at Declan. He's talking about nothing. So Lisa, nexthomebrandywine.com to get a hold of Lisa. Kind of tell me she does all over too. So kind of tell me your service area. She does a lot of Coatesville because she's from here and has a sphere of influence here. But again, she's like me. She'll go all over. 4 years now. I can't believe it. Is it 4 years?
It's gotta be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's like 4 years.
Time flies when you're having fun.
So Lisa, tell them where if they can email you, and tell them where they can find you.
Yep, you can find me at nexthombrandywine.com. You can also email me at lisamlast@hotmail.com. My phone number is everywhere, 610-517-2287. But please call me. I'm here for you. Always.
She works as hard as me. She does. I mean, really. Like always. I see her truck, her Jeep. She's got the orange on the front, and I see her Jeep coming in and out. We're always hustling for our people, nonstop. I mean, sometimes we'll pass in the street and she'll say, "Hey, I just got done showing 4 houses," and she'll be in Lancaster and I'll be in Northeast Philly. So we are all over the place to make sure our clients are being.
Our houses don't come to us; we have to go to them.
Right, and we're always there. All right, Lisa, thank you. You made it 30 minutes.
Thank you for having me.
You said 10, but you made it 30. Yes.
I know. Well,
it does fly. It goes fast.
It does. It was a lot of fun. And thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, Lisa. All right, see you with the dog later.
All right, guys. I'm sure you will.
She's got a dog, Axel, that she adopted. So Jessa my dog wants to eat everybody. So she's always barking at them when they come on. She's really good. Listen, nobody out hustles her. She hustles, babe, man. She hustles. I mean, and then anything she doesn't know as far as the details, my amount of years, I help them there. But what you want is someone to represent you and hustle for you. I mean, that's the key. I mean, we bend over backwards for them. Before we go, is that announced yet, your new show? We allowed to talk about that or no?
We don't have the official day and time yet.
Can we touch on it or no? We allowed
of course.
So Bay's going to be. We spoke about it briefly before we came on the podcast. Bay is going to be doing a new Delco show with an old friend of his, and they're going to have different topics for we're Delco people. So if you're a Delaware County person, hopefully Next Home Brandywine might be able to sponsor this one. I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to be on Totally Driven Entertainment Radio, Bay's network. Totally Driven TV, and I'm looking forward to that one, Bay. I saw that come up, and I think that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's my friend Chris Kelly, who people might know from the old world of Dancing on Air and Dance Party USA back in the late 80s, early 90s. We've been friends since grade school back at St. Alice in Upper Darby. And we've talked about this show idea for about 5 years now. And we were talking 2 weeks ago, and it came up again. And he was like, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's do it. So we were on the phone yesterday, and I said, so what do you say? You want to set a date? He's like, yeah, next week we're doing it. So I think it's going to be next Wednesday. I'm going to talk to him later on and just get a day and time, but it's looking like probably next Wednesday at 8 o'clock is going to be the first episode. I'm not sure the topics yet, what we're going to do, but it's going to be, we're going to talk about Delco in the past as we were growing up, Delco, present day, and the future of Delco, and all the good.
And it has shifted.
Everything good. Nothing negative. We just want to talk about the good times, the good memories, the good places that are there and were there, and that will be coming to Delco too. So
I don't know if I mentioned it. My favorite pizza parlor in the world closed after 40 years.
I think you talked about it last month.
Yeah. His wife was sick and they closed. So I couldn't. I saw it was closed when I passed by the other day, but I didn't have the guts to drive up front and see it. So, like we talked, things change, right? So some of the old Delco stuff, things change, and there's still some great spots down there. I mean, Trieste closed. They put a new restaurant in there. Trieste was my favorite spot. So, oh God, I loved it there. So Italian surf and turf, breaded shrimp with the veal. I used to get that all the time. So when the original owner sold out, they couldn't again. We talk about standard of excellence. When I had their crab soup with the new owner, it sucked. I said, this is terrible. Like, it's not the same standard. So the uniformity, the name can be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the standard of excellence has to be there. Some people live off the name a little too long. And that's why I think, with Next Home, we're trying to break that glass ceiling and say we're the new go-to. We're the new go-to out there. I see you and Coco got a couple things going on. His network's fun, folks. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. They do some bargain hunt shopping stuff, and
always up to something.
Coco's always fun. Hopefully, we can get down there to see you. These airfares, like we talked about, are ridiculous. We just had my family come in for a family picnic from Las Vegas. My cousin's living in Las Vegas. $650 a ticket to come in from Las Vegas.
Really?
For comparison's sakes, Danny and I flew to Las Vegas last year, round trip for $250.
I was finding, you got to look, because I was finding.
You know what it was for to come and see you? It was $468 round trip.
See, I was trying to get up there around 4th of July, and I was finding round trip tickets for $125.
I'm hoping if I can do that. There's in October, Flyers are down there playing, and Danny and I were going to come see and take us to the game and see if we can pull that off. But the airfares have been just ridiculous lately. Things are changing, and we'll tie it up with this. Like when you're buying a house, if you had a pre-approval from a couple of years ago, the interest rates have changed and all. So make sure you're looking your seller's net sheet and your buyer's estimated closing from your realtor or from your lender to make sure you understand what your monthly number is. Because as everybody's costs are increasing with the increased interest rates, so is your mortgage payment. And some people said, because they've been looking for a while, well, I could afford $200. Well, you could afford $200 with 3.5% interest rate, but can you afford $200 with 6% interest rate? I just did the math for my niece for a house in the city. It was $400 difference a month.
Wow.
From just 6-8 months ago till now, because the interest rates rose. And then we have, if we want to travel, it's more money, the food, all that. So just be careful with your numbers, that you're understanding, and find somebody that's going to pound the pavement for you, because that's what we need right now in this market. It's been
I was going to say, I wanted to ask you this. I saw something yesterday somebody had posted about required for down payments. The price is now going down. Is that true, or
as far as the amount of money you put down?
Yeah.
Well, there's different programs out there. So there's these conforming loan programs to where you can do a conventional loan, and it all depends. You have to meet a certain criteria to qualify. So don't say, hey, Dan on a podcast said this. So call your mortgage professional, because I don't try to be. I'm learned in it, but I'm not an expert and I'm not your mortgage professional. But you can do a 3% down conventional loan if you qualify. There's a lot of programs, babe. For example, if you buy in Drexel Hill, Upper Darby right now, one of my lenders, Jill Markichich, which Guild, she's able, in some instances, to get people up to a $10,000 grant.
Wow.
My main lender, Bo DeForge, he was able to put a lady in Sharon Hill this year, $10,000 grant, 97.3, so it's 3% down, and she got $10,000 towards her closing. So for some of the areas in Delco, they're enticing people to buy, and they're offering grant programs. Wow. So you have to ask your lender what you. My mother made a comment the other day. Well, don't they have first-time home buyer? Not necessarily, but there's a ton of programs out there that you may or may not qualify for. But again, same thing with the lenders. Get a lender that's going to sit with you and give you 15 minutes and ask the right questions. Because I know lenders. I'll give you an example. We try to watch it, how we speak and say things, because I'm kind of blunt sometimes. But Bo DeForge put my lady into a place and gave her the $10,000. Put her in the program to get the $10,000 grant. He didn't have to do it. He don't make as much money on that loan. You know what I mean? He could have just said, hey, take a FHA loan. He's the one that came back to us and said, Dan, hey, there's a grant program there. We can put her in here. Now, he makes less money on that loan.
Okay.
But he's doing right by the client.
I was just going to say, so how do you, how does a person learn if they're eligible for these grants if they might not have a person like Bo that's going to point it out?
You can go online, but it's hard. Even I don't know. Like I called Jill on one, and she said, where are you looking? And I said, we're looking in Drexel Hill. She said, well, right now there's a private law firm that has like a grant/scholarship type thing that they're giving money to buyers that buy in certain areas in around Upper Darby, Drexel Hill. I didn't know. So now I mentioned to my clients, hey, you know what? There's a loan program here. So when one of my clients, Chevelle, was looking in Sharon Hill, and I said, look, here's some lenders, call them up. She called Bo. They had a good rapport. And Bo said to her, listen, you got a grant program here. Now there's some criteria there. You have to make sure it makes sense for you. But he's like, hey, this qualifies, for $10,000 for you towards your closing. So the house was just under, but say $200,000. She only needs $6,000 because her closing cost was $12,000. So she needed $8,000 to get into the house. So because she got 10 grants. She needed 18, but she got the $10,000 grant. So she only needed $8,000 to get into the house.
Yeah.
But you got it again, just like the realtor. Is it going to say, I don't care. I'm thinking to myself, right. I care. I'm going to help everybody and anybody across the fun of it is working with all these different people. I mean, I learned so much. I'm working with so many different diversified people right now in all kinds of different market segments. And to me, that's kind of, it's fun, and we learn and we're able to bring information to people. But my group, Karen Mancini, Aaron Abstract, honestly, nobody better. I deal with Bo DeForge. He's our in-house lender. They've been so good to us over the years, and he's a quality lender who is learned. You got to have somebody learn it. Like when Lisa first started, she was a hustler, but she didn't know as much because when you're new, you don't know.
Sure.
But I was always there to back her. Now she's to the point to where she's self-sustainable, and then she don't have to bounce as much stuff off of me. But Ernie Homer, we had him on. He's the greatest. Mr. Mustache himself. I just saw him on Facebook with his crazy mustache. Got to go. He looks like Oliver Percy Pringle. But he's a thorough, forthright, articulate, self-conscious, inspector. We have a team of people that I vet. I just had another lender come to me. I'll talk to anybody. Bo's our main lender, but you can always have backup people from Malvern Bank. And one of my agents said, can you talk to this guy? And we did. We had an open, honest conversation. I told him the standard that we have and how we really, really vet our people before we bring them in and, refer them to our clients because of the standard we're trying to meet in the office Go
Right.
back to the beginning when my client said to me, you compete on service level. And that's what we do at Next Home. It's about humans over houses, and it's about the quality of service, or we can't compete. I've been with those brands. Keller Williams Exton has 400 or 500 people. That's not me. It's not the market segment we're
Yeah.
learned professional realtors, just like Vanguard. And people say, why do you mention other companies? I don't feel like they're my competition. I go get my own. Vanguard Realty Alliance is excellent. They're good people and they do good business. You're allowed to say that.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I want you to come to Dan Pizzi at Next Home Brandywine, but you know, there's other good offices out there and that do business the right way. And I can appreciate that. You know, when I dealt with Vanguard, they had a guy, Doug, that does their title. He was phenomenal. Always picked up the phone. And when I went there for settlement, I said, hey, go get Doug. I got to meet this guy because he's different. He's better. Most of them suck. He's good. I really liked him. Like, hey, I got to meet this guy. He's awesome. You know.
Well, that right there, the fact that you do, and every month we do this show, you do mention other realtors, other offices, and that speaks volumes about yourself because you have the confidence in yourself and Next Home Brandywine and the service that you're going to give to your customer or client.
It's true. And you know what it comes, I tell my son, that comes from experience and constant training and being learned. So then you have the confidence. I always had a lot of self-confidence. Some people don't, you know,
Yeah,
but
of course.
I think the reason I do is because Dave Stinson, our baseline, Jimmy Corwell, Al Madeira, all those guys that helped me. And then me growing my business and becoming more learned and being open-minded to criticism and getting to the point to where you know how it is. You're confident in your own skin. It might take you, we're 50, whatever, plus it takes you years to get to that point to where you are, even from a business perspective. My mom had her own beauty salon. She said, look, you have to grow this thing. It takes time. It's not like, oh, you know, we're going to grow this thing. And now I feel like we're at a little bit of a turning point to where I think we can grow it a little bit more. I have the confidence in my people like Lisa and the gang, and we can grow this thing to the, let me get my headphones right on my big head. We can grow this thing to the point to where we can get to that next level. And that's why we come on here and we have a conversation every month. We introduce people that are like-minded to us. I know Jeremy's in town, by the way. He said hello.
Is he?
We had a lot of views. I mean, a lot of views on his when he shared it out over Facebook last month. So we're kind of hopefully mixing and matching. And, you know, I got Peter, we're supposed to be on. He's going to be on another month. We're going to introduce him, another new young artist. And you know, we're going to see what August holds. Everybody, I'm dying to see this Delco show. So if you're a Delco peep, this is going to be a good one on Bays Network. Make sure you check it out and subscribe to Bays Network, right? So we're on here. There's a ton of great content on this network.
And also, too, make sure you give us a thumbs up and you can leave comments below, ask questions. You know, myself or Dan will see them, and Dan will get back to you. So go ahead, leave questions and comments below too.
Where's our boy? What's his name? Hub. Where's Hub this month? Hub, you there?
That's a good question. No, he's not. I haven't.
Oh, Hub is not. You know what? It's August and it's quiet. Hub, I want to see you around next month because you've been on. I think every show we had, Hub's been on.
He'll go back. Trust me, he'll go back and watch it because every show he watches and he comes back to me with that.
He is loyal to you. I mean, he does. He watches everything that you have on here. Best of Coco, Bay Significant Other, please.
Thank you.
And we will see you in September. Everybody will be back to school. It'll be totally different as far as the households go and the changes that September brings with the kids. So hopefully a bigger audience. I know it's going to be a little quiet here with people's last minute vacation and stuff. Anything home-wise, nexthomebrandywine.com. We're all on there. All of our contact information is on there. And Bay, I thank you, buddy. And we will see everybody next month.
Thank you, Dan. Everybody, check it out. nexthomebrandywine.com.
Thanks, Bay. Take care, buddy.
You too.